Well, I have a special guest for you, Mr. Trudeau himself.
What?
Hello.
Justin Trudeau.
Bonjour, mes amis. Bon matin. How's everybody doing over there? I took some time from my busy schedule, and yet here you are, waiting for me. I'm so pleased. What will we be talking about today?
Pat King's trial. You put him in jail. Don't you remember this?
Pat King, is he one of those trucker types, white male misogynists? I have no time for those people.
That would be the man.
Now listen, which one of you is Pat? You're all wearing trucker hats. I can't tell.
You mean you don't know who I am? I'm pretty sure you know who I am, Justin.
Yeah, sorry, we have a big echo from Justin, or that might be Cease's cutting in there. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, this is Pat King right here.
That's funny. You got something to say to me or what?
I just want to say, like all good Canadians, hang in there, roll up your sleeves like I do, because I'm a common working man, just like all of you. And from coast to coast to coast, we will continue to work together and stand up for democracy. Unless it's, of course, something you don't like about my government. But as far as protests in other countries and faraway places where we give lots of money, then that's completely fine. And I'm all up for that.
Well,
now, excuse me, Jason?
How's Sophie doing?
Sophie. I'll never forget that first night that we were together. She took one look at my ding-dong and said, "This is unacceptable." Are working things out, just like any good Canadian couple, we pull ourselves out of challenging situations. We don't just say, "Oh no, it's broken." No, that's not who Canadians are. Instead, we are a group of people who are loyal and trustworthy to the science. In fact, a graph came out recently showing a 25% reduction in misogyny just from taking the booster. I mean, I don't know why you're all laughing. That's probably because several of them died so quickly right after, but at least I get to call it my favorite label, unknown cause.
Hey, I think the cops are coming for you, man. You better run.
That's okay. By the time they get here, I will have awarded myself the $75,000 needed for a sex change. And they won't recognize me.
Well, instead of screwing this country, you should have screwed your wife a little better.
Oh, wow.
You see? It's not bad already, right? Kind of a Michael Jackson look. I just need a little makeup.
You have some shoe polish for that?
Yes. In fact, it's called my JT's Midnight Evening Mask. And what you do is you put it on at night, wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and eager and looking forward to getting back to that privileged white face that you always wear.
So is it true, Justin, that you and Sammy Ali had sexual conduct at the West Point Academy in Vancouver?
We don't have time for disrespectful misinformation and disinformation like this. For those of you that want to support Ukraine, go ahead, because I'm standing with them. I'm not standing with people who lie. And sir, if you're not going to be respectful, you can leave the room.
Can I just ask,
by the way,
Mr. Prime Minister, who do you think is or was a better dictator? Your dad, Fidel, or yourself?
Fidel, you mean Pierre? I don't know any Fidel. I did a DNA test recently, though, and it did say I had some Cuban blood. I'm not sure why that is.
Margaret could tell you on that.
Well, I do look up to the basic dictatorships in, let's say, Mao Zedong's China and Cuba and Vietnam, North Korea, places like that. I do look up, but we've made it our special brand of democracy so that people in Coutts, for example, the family there, they can have a fair trial, and I don't see any problem with them being in a jail for a year and a half, just to make absolutely sure, because we don't want to make any mistakes now, because they could be dangerous to release into the public until we know all the details. And by the way, there's been some questions of where the money is going to support the family in Coutts, and I can make that very simply. Let me be very clear. Just send it to me and Christia, and we'll make sure it gets there.
That sounds about right. Hey, Pat, do you have a question there for our Grand Supreme?
Absolutely. So, Mr. Fancy Socks, I had a good interview with your stepbrother, Kyle Kemper. And Kyle, we were talking while we were in Ottawa with regards to how it is that you are acting the way you are acting, and what gives you the drive of what you're doing. And your own brother, out of his own mouth, in his own words, said that you were compromised and you've been blackmailed by the WEF and by all these guys. Is this true?
Is blackmailed like blackface? Because I like doing that. Well, to answer your question, though, more on a serious note, I'm driven by the people of this great nation that we love. And we listen to one another. And we work towards fiscal responsibility, openness, a dialogue with each other, as long as you're not saying anything against me. And I was born for this job. Just because he's a half brother and a half-wit, I can't help that he wasn't be able to afford to go to the same school and drama school that I went to so that I could act better.
Follow-up question.
The only openness
follow-up
we
question.
have in
Sorry,
Trudeau's
point of
Canada
order,
is
point of
open
order.
borders.
Follow-up question. Sorry. You didn't answer another question. You skirted around the issue again. Once again, are you compromised? Have you been blackmailed?
I act accordingly from the rules of the Charter of Rights. I follow all laws, except when I'm embezzling a little bit from Acuitas and some other schemes. But otherwise, I never lie about anything. I never released any horses at the, what do you call it, the Ottawa Stampede or whatever that trucker bash was. And I never put any people in jail or froze any bank accounts. That was all Christia and some other people that I'll be firing. And because I need to have a more diverse cabinet. You see, all white people are exactly the same. There's no diversity there. They come from all the same background, the same exact personalities. So that's why we need different skin colors. That's where we get the diversity. And by the way, I had the new vaccine, and getting that shot, I mean, it just was an amazing feeling. And it gets you.
Well, we're glad you're still here there. Steve, did you have a question for the Prime Minister?
Oh, it's just a remark that the only openness in Canada under Trudeau is open borders.
Well, I do love POCs because my daddy's Cuban. And we need more of them in this country to take the jobs that white supremacists don't want. And it's making a difference in our economy. We have unprecedented low house prices, or what's the proper term for that? I'm not really an expert in that. I'm good at multiplying, but I'm even better at dividing.
No doubt. Pat,
This guy is priceless, man.
Trudeau, if you think white men are the problem, why haven't you stepped down and given your position to Jagmeet?
Ooh, good question.
Jagmeet, he's one of my best buddies. In fact, Jagmeet, go back into the bathroom. I'll see you in a minute. Sorry, we were just having a little fun. That's why I had that Band-Aid on my head a few weeks ago. Don't worry, you'll be in great hands with him. He's a colored man, and we need more colored people besides the first blackface president to rule this country.
Very good, very good. And how is your boss doing? Klaus, is he treating you nice? Are you ready for Christmas? How's Klaus doing to you?
Don't talk mean about my Klaus. Klaus is saving the world from climate change disaster. Today it was 19 degrees Celsius here in Vancouver, and I couldn't believe it. I was sweating, and I tried to go out and set a backburn in the forests of northern BC to try to save everybody.
Good man. You're helping everybody. And Pat, I guess you're loving this. Do you have any questions about the court trial?
Oh man, I needed that right now. That's like the moment that I needed. I've been stressed out all day. This guy is a riot. I don't know your real name, but you know what? You got my vote for comedy best. What do you call it? The best impersonation. That's good. I've got so many questions. I wish you really were the real guy, but my biggest question on a satirical level is, do you like, oh no, I can't, because I'm in court, ladies and gentlemen. This is for fundraising purposes, and there's so much I want to say.
Put it in the chat and I'll ask it.
All right.
So Justin, do you mind reminding everybody how law-abiding we are, and that this is for fundraising purposes only for Pat King and no other purposes? Because we're law-abiding Canadians here with trucker hats.
Excellent. So then I won't have to freeze your bank accounts. If this is legal, we'll have my Chinese friends look into it to make sure that it's valid, and we'll be giving some of the funds to the carbon tax so that we can lower the global temperature, even though we're only one small country in the whole world.
That sounds like you got our best intentions in play there. And Pat, I think he's on a time limit. His plane is revving up in the driveway back there. I think he's got 2 planes. He's getting ready to go for a flight. Do you have any more questions for this guy that will keep you out of jail?
If I could get one in quickly. So there's a really hot event coming up here in Alberta, Mr. Trudeau. And as you know, Albertans love the rodeo. You always come out for the stampede. Would you be a rodeo clown at the Bulls and Broken Arrows Bash in Red Deer, Alberta?
Well, you know I love dressing up. Do I get to dress up?
Yeah, you can do it in blackface if you want.
Broken Arrows, excellent. Can't wait. Will I be in any danger? Because I need to keep Canadians safe.
No, we'll make sure you have a big RCMP detail to keep you safe.
250 officers.
We'll make sure that the bull is in an RCMP uniform, just so you feel extra safe.
Even wear my red tie.
My question. So, my last question I got to ask. If you were allowed to, no, wait, let me rephrase this. If Canada came at you and told you to step down, and we had legal documentation to put you in jail, and we had legal fortitude to do this under law, would you abide by it, or would you run tuck tail and take off to Papa Castro's island, or would you run off to Uncle Klaus's little mansion in the Swiss? Or would you allow democracy to run its course?
Democracy is one of the cornerstones of Canada. And by the way, Tofino is just as good as Epstein's Island, so I'm comfortable going there. No need to go to the tropics over there. I'd rather stay in our boreal forest, which is threatened lately. And I'll stay in power as long as I can throw together some word salads.
That sounds great. And how is Jugmeat doing? I know he's in the bathroom there, but is he treating you good? And do you have confidence that he's going to stick by you for both the next budgets and to keep you in there?
I remember when I first met Jagmeet, and he kind of grabbed my arm, the way sometimes old people do. But then I noticed I was standing at a urinal, and it seemed a little inappropriate, but that's how it started, and we've been progressing ever since. Last night we had some kind of S&M stuff. It was kind of fun. We put on some, what do you call those dogs, those masks?
I'm pretty sure that was your arm he grabbed in the urinal. I'm pretty sure that it was not your arm.
Justine, let's keep it to pride talk. We can talk about pride topics all day. but don't go to this kind of heterosexual sex talk. We know that's disgusting.
Absolutely. And then, Steve, do you have any last comments for our Grand Supreme Leader here?
When are you coming out as non-binary?
Well, I sort of identify as one spirit, two-face, but lately I've been identifying as a Chinese dictator's cat litter box.
That prompts another question. So, Xi Jinping likes to refer to you affectionately as a little potato. As a potato, how would you like to be prepared? Fried, baked, scalloped?
I suppose peeled gradually, layer by layer, until the lights are low and the temperature is just right.
And let's not forget a lot of sour cream.
And an NDA agreement. Don't forget the NDA agreements. These are really important.
We are working on bug cream made from the mammary glands of bugs. And this will substitute for the dairy cows, which are farting up Alberta, who has still stolen resources from the rest of Canada. We're getting tired of Alberta's attitude. And so that's my next step, to work with Klaus.
What is the quickest way we can hand Alberta over to you? Just give you the keys, or are you just going to come take it?
Well, I've already confiscated quite a lot of the farm equipment there, so I don't suppose they'll be able to go anywhere. Shouldn't be too hard to move in with some Chinese friends of mine.
So,
and
Justin,
Alberta,
I would like to formally invite you to come and grab my tractor personally. If you could, please come to my house, pick it up. I'll have the keys ready for you. I just want one picture, and if you would please just smile for the flash. That's all.
and to remind you, Justin, you have to be there before 10 p.m. He has a curfew.
Well, if you could just let us know your location, and we'll be sure to sick our directed energy weapon right on it, and no need for me to travel.
Oh, you know where I live.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. This guy's priceless. This is good. Thank you very much for that. That was good.
Yeah, had a good laugh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for fundraising purposes. And a little satire goes a long way. So thank you very much to this gentleman. And you know what, man? Thanks to everybody for everything they're doing. And